Welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a full set of all acrylic no polish nails. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm just going in with a cuticle pusher, and I'm just pushing back the cuticles, and that's just going to help expose the new growth. After that, we're going to go in with a 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. Remember, this is just going to literally remove the shine. We don't want to thin the nail down or anything. We're literally just removing the shine. If you look at your nails right now and you have no acrylic on, no gel polish, no nothing, just your bare nails, you will see that they have like a shine to them. So basically what we want to do is just get rid of that shine, because if we apply the acrylic right over our shiny nails, they will lift very quickly, probably within that same day. So that's why we want to remove the shine. That way the acrylic adheres to the nail really good. And also, excuse Sugar, she had him in her lap and he was just all up on the table, so that's why his little paws are on there. But anyways, we're just again removing the shine from the natural nail. After this, we're going to go ahead and dust the nails off, and then we're going to go ahead and apply the nail tips. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go in with the nail tips, and I'm going to be using my clear nail tips, and I'm using my KDS glue. Remember that when you're applying the nail tips, you want to make sure that these tips fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want them to be too small or too big. You literally want them to be the exact same size as your natural nail, because if they're too small, they're gonna eventually crack, or if they're too big, they're gonna lift. So make sure that you're sizing them correctly. Remember that if one tip is too small and the other one is too big, always go with the one that's a little bit big, because you could always file it down on the sides to make it fit perfectly. And then when you glue the nail tip down, make sure that you're holding their finger really straight. That way you don't apply the nail tip on their crooked. And if you do and you notice that the nail is crooked, just go ahead and take it off. You can clip it down, and then, you know, just soak it off with the little like soak off clips and a ball of cotton with acetone. Just leave it on there and it's gonna soak off really quickly. Don't just leave it on there. Don't think that you can just shape it and make it look even, because it's still gonna be crooked. So just go ahead and take it off. So again, we're using the clear nail tips. So once we finish applying the nail tips, we're going to go ahead and either trim them down or just shape them up. She wanted to keep them this long, so of course I'm just going to go ahead and shape them. And she wanted like an in-between coffin and square, kind of like tapered squared, I guess. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, and then of course just blending the nail tip right in the middle. That way it looks a lot more natural once we apply the acrylic. So again, we're kind of falling at a 45-degree angle on the sides and a 90-degree angle at the free edge to make sure that the free edge is super straight. and also just blending the nail tip right in the middle. So basically we're doing the same thing that we would do if we were shaping the nails into a coffin shape, except for they're not going to be as narrow. We're just bringing in the size just a tiny bit. So once we finish shaping up the nails, we're going to go ahead and dust them off. And then I'm going in and applying the primer. I'm using the Young Nail Protein Bond. I'm applying that on the natural nail only, making sure not to get it on the skin. And then after this, we can go ahead and just apply the acrylic. Alrighty, so at first we were gonna just do all ombre and then the ring finger with caviar, but since she's seen the flowers on my nail, she decided that she wanted flowers on her index finger. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do the pink acrylic on the ring finger, which will be the caviar nail. And for this one, I'm actually using the multi-balance acrylic by Mia's Secret, which I feel like it sets a lot faster and it's not as runny as like their regular Mia's Secret pink. So I really like that. I don't even know if they sell these in big containers, but I actually bought it. When did I buy it? I think it was when I went to Dallas and I bought it, and I still hadn't used it until just now. So I really like it because again, it's not as runny. So if you're looking for something that's not too runny like the Mia's Secret pink, I would suggest using this one. The only difference is that it just sets a little bit faster than the other one. So you do have to work just a little bit faster with this one. But if you are using the Mia's Secret pink and you're having problems with it being a little bit too runny, you can add just a few drops of acetone into your monomer, like literally just like 2 or 3 drops, and it will help the acrylic not be so runny. I've tried it. I heard a lot of people have tried it, so it actually works really good. So after this, we're gonna go ahead and do the nail with the flowers. So I'm going to be doing that on the index finger, and then of course I'm using my alpha brush in the number 10 in an oval shape. Oh yeah, and then before I start doing the flower one, I'm going to go ahead and just do a thin layer of acrylic on the pinky and the middle finger. And I'm just doing this because since we are doing the colored acrylic ombre, next time if she wants to come back and do something different, like, you know, just basically remove the ombre, I can just go ahead and file away the colored acrylic and then they'll still be clear underneath. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then again, for the index finger, I'm going to be doing the flowers. So same thing, I just applied a thin layer of the Mia's Secret multi-balance pink. And then I'm going in with some AB glitter acrylic by Nail Supply Glamour in the number 6. And I'm just applying that underneath before I apply the flowers. So I'm just doing a really thin layer. And then I'm going in and applying the flowers, and I'm just going to be applying 2 of these. So this one, and then I'm going to apply another one just like it at the tip. And then I'm also going to be using this one, so I have 2 shades of pink in there. And also just a little reminder that when you're applying flowers on the nail, you want to make sure that the acrylic underneath is still a little bit wet. That way the flowers to just kind of stick to the acrylic. If not, you can go in and just apply a little bit more acrylic. That way you have something to again stick the flowers to. And then of course just press them down with your finger if you need to help them adhere to the acrylic. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and just encapsulate those flowers with that same multi-balance pink, which is literally the same color as the regular Mia Secret pink. But again, I feel like this one just dries a bit faster than the regular Mia Secret pink. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description, but it is from Nail Supply Glamour, which is located in Dallas. And I do have a promo code for them, which is Get Nailed. Okay, so once we've encapsulated those flowers with the acrylic, we're going to go ahead and do the ombre. So I'm using this pink from Nail Supply Glamour. I'm applying that on the tips, and as you can see, it's pretty sheer at first, but I'm going to go ahead and apply some more, of course. And then for the back, I'm going to be using the Mia Secret Cover Pink, which is also by Nail Supply Glamour. And I'll be sure to leave all of the links down below so you guys can check them out. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and just let those dry for just a second. And we're going to go ahead and do the thin layer of acrylic on this thumb. Remember, we're just doing a thin layer, so next time if we need to file away the colored acrylic, we can. But anyways, next we're going in with the Mia Secret pink acrylic. And I do want to go ahead and let you guys know that I am going to be switching brushes in this video, just because this brush, which is my alpha brush in a number 10, when I was on vacation I left it out and it kind of got stuck to the table, so the bristles were a little bit messed up and they were giving me a hard time. So I need to clean it off really good and retrain my brush to be flat. But again, that's only because I left it on my table and I guess it still had a product on it and it dried up. So I'm going to switch over to this Nail Supply Glamour brush in a number 10, and it's a bit too small for me. It's definitely smaller than the alpha brush, and I feel like it's honestly a bit flimsier than the Nail Supply, or sorry, a little bit flimsier than the alpha brush. So it was still giving me a little of a hard time as well, but I kind of made it work. But anyways, again, we're doing the Mia Secret Cover Pink, and then of course we're gonna go back in and encapsulate those two colors with the Mia Secret Multi-Balance Pink. So same thing for the other two fingers. We're going to go ahead and do the Mia Secret Cover Pink. Of course, placing it closer to the cuticle area, brushing it down towards the middle. That way it blends really good with that pink, adding a little bit more closer to the cuticle area because we want to make sure we have a nice apex. So we apply another bead, of course, cleaning around that cuticle area really good. We want to make sure that if we get any product on the skin, we wipe it off immediately, because if not, if it dries up and it's on the skin, most likely we will get lifting. And then once we have that enough of that Mia Secret Cover Pink, we're going to go ahead and encapsulate both of those colors with the Mia Secret Multi-Balance Pink, or of course you could always use clear. As you guys know, I just like to use my Mia Secret pinks, but clear will work just fine. Alrighty, so now we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the thumb. So we're doing the hot pink on the tip, brushing it down, making sure that we blend it in the middle. That way it's not just like a straight line and it won't be so hard to blend once we do the cover color. And then also just a little reminder that when you're doing acrylic nails, and if you're using the 4-ball method, which is what I usually use, you want to make sure that, like, say you do the 4-ball method and your nails are still thin at the tip, just go back in and add more acrylic there. Don't worry about, you know, like, oh, I already did four balls, like I can go back and add more. Like, yes, you can. I don't want you guys thinking that you can't, because you can definitely add more acrylic. Just make sure that you only add it, you know, where you need it. Like, say you have a nice apex but your tips are still thin, only add more acrylic to the tips, because if you add it, you know, to the entire nail, then you're gonna keep making your apex thicker and thicker and thicker, and then the tip is still gonna be thin. So just add it to the tip. That's why I always say in my videos, if you need more acrylic, add it where it's needed. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and finish off this hand. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other hand as well. And then also when you're doing acrylic nails like this, or sorry, when you're doing colored acrylic nails, you want to make sure that you build your apex with the clear, or in my case with the Mia Secret pink acrylic, just because the color acrylic is literally just there for color, but you're actually building your thickness with your pink or your clear, whichever one you're using. So same thing for the other hand. We're going to go ahead and get started with the ring finger. We're going to go ahead and just apply the Mia Secret multi-balance pink on this one. We're going to do the 4-ball method. So same thing as always. We apply the first bead right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meet. Brushing it down towards the tip, we apply the second bead right below the first one. Same thing, patting it down, brushing it down towards the tip. Make sure that when you're doing this, you're not brushing the acrylic too hard, because you're going to be brushing the acrylic off the nail. So literally just kind of feathering it down. That way it's all nice and smooth. I also feel like if you brush the acrylic too hard, I feel like it makes the acrylic dry a lot faster, and that's what creates your bumps and lumps. So make sure that you're brushing really, really gently. And then the 4th ball would just go right in the middle, and this is what's going to create your apex. And then again, if you still need to add a little bit more, then that's totally fine, because you'll be able to determine if you need to add more once you look at the nail from the side, which is why I also always say to look at the nail from different angles, because if you're just looking at it from up here, like, you really can't tell. That why when you see me lift the nail like that, that's me looking at it from the side. Alright, so we're done with that one. So now for the index finger, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the layer of the Mia Secret multi-balance pink. And then after that, we're going to go in with the Nail Supply Glamour AB Glitter Acrylic in the number 6. We're just going to do a thin layer of that as well. And then after that, we're going to go in with the flowers. And the flowers, I did have them on my website, but now the website is down for restocking. Thank you so much to everyone that placed an order. We are completely sold out, so I'll be sure to let you guys know once it's back up and running. But if you're interested in the flowers, some of the ones that I have are also by Nail Supply Glamour. Again, I'll be sure to leave that link down below as well. But remember that when you're applying the flowers, you want to make sure that the nail is just a little bit wet when you apply it. That way the flowers kind of just stick to the acrylic. And once the flowers are nice and flat, we can go in with the acrylic and encapsulate them. Remember that when you're encapsulating flowers or glitter or whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're using enough acrylic, because if it's not thick enough, you will fall away your flowers. So again, make sure that you're encapsulating them really good. You'll be able to see if the flowers are inside or outside the acrylic, and of course you want them to be completely inside the acrylic, because that's basically what encapsulating is. Some people call it encase, encapsulate, but it's all the same thing. We're basically just applying the acrylic over the flowers. Alright, and for the rest of the nails, I'm not going to be doing the layer of acrylic underneath just because she said that the next time she came, she was just going to get a whole new set and do something completely different, because this client actually only comes like once a month just because she's in college and she has to travel to get to me. So that's why I went ahead and just did the pink straight on the nail, but it's going to be the same thing, just applying the hot pink on the tips. We're going to come back in and do the cover color on the back and then encapsulating them with the acrylic. So the only step that we're skipping is the thin layer of the Mia Secret balance multi-balance color, sorry. Alrighty, so once we're done applying the acrylic, we're going to go in and reshape the nails. So I'm using my same 100 nail file, and then of course we're just redefining that shape. We already have the shape that we want, but as you guys know, once you apply the acrylic, it will take away from your shape. So we just have to go back in there and redefine the shape. So once we're done reshaping the nails, we're going to go in with an extra coarse drill bit by Pana. And I'm using my Scarlet Melody Susie nail drill. As always, I'm just following from the cuticle area. I'm going from the right side over to the left side. Just going back and forth until I'm able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. And then of course just following the rest of the nail to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. But you want to focus around that cuticle area first, because if you don't, that's where your lifting will come from. So you want to make sure you seal that cuticle area really good. Again, I'm using an extra fine drill bit by Pana. I'll be sure to leave that link down in the description. And then as always, I also, even though my nails are like already really nice and smooth after I apply the acrylic, I still always go back in and file the top of all of the nails to make sure that they're all like extra nice and smooth. So now I'm going to go in and just buff the nails. Remember, this is just going to get rid of the scratches left on the nail from the hand file or the e-file. So you want to make sure that you don't skip this step, especially when you're applying polish, because you will be able to see any of those scratches on the nail through your polish if you don't buff them out. Alrighty, so after we're finished doing all of the buffing, I just dust the nails off, and then you can either have your client wash their hands, or you can just wipe them down with an alcohol wipe, which is what I'm doing. And then after this, you can either apply your polish, or for me, I'm just going to be applying a top coat, which will be the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat. Except for on the ring finger, for that one, I'm going to be applying the Caviar. So I'm going to use the IBD Gel Top Coat. I just like this one because it's a little bit thicker, and I feel like it holds that Caviar a lot better. So I applied a layer on the nail. After that, I'm going to go in with my wax pencil, and I'm going to be applying some SS6 bling before I apply the Caviar. And then for my Caviar, I'm going to be using a cuticle pusher to pick them up, and I'm just going to be sprinkling them over the top of the nail. I like to use this cuticle pusher better because it's kind of like a little spoon, and it just picks up the Caviar really easily. Make sure that you apply the Caviar over the entire nail, so make sure that you're turning your client's finger as you're applying it. Also make sure that you kind of move the acrylic in, or sorry, not the acrylic, the Caviar in with your finger. That way it's not hanging off the nail. So same thing for the other hand. We're going to go ahead and apply the IBD Gel Top Coat. And then the bling is optional. You don't have to apply the bling like I'm doing here, but I just feel like it makes the Caviar look a lot better. So again, we're applying the bling. After that, we're going to apply the Caviar, and then we cure this for 60 seconds. Alrighty, so now we're going to go ahead and go in with the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat, and we're going to be applying that on the rest of the nails. Okay, so now since the ring finger on this hand is dry, I'm going to go ahead and just gently file the free edge and the sides to perfect the shape, because once you apply the Caviar, it will take away from your shape. So I just go in there and gently file the edges, and usually I try to do that at the beginning before I apply the top coat on the other nails, but I forgot. So that's why I had to go back in and remove some of that dust. But as you can see here, I reshaped this nail before I applied the top coat on the rest, and then, you know, I don't have to worry about getting dust on the other nails. So again, this is the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat, and we're just applying it on all of the nails. And then I also like to go in and just apply the same top coat out like on the perimeter of the nail with the caviar. I just feel like it holds that caviar in place, but it also doesn't take away from the caviar look, because I literally just apply just a little tiny bit, and then I even kind of tap it with my fingernail, or not fingernail, but with my fingertip. That way it kind of sinks in between the caviar. And then after this, we're going to go ahead and cure both hands for 60 seconds. After this, we're going to go ahead and just apply the Young Nail Cuticle Oil. We're just going to gently massage it on their cuticles. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description down to this cuticle oil, and it smells so freaking good. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. They turned out really pretty. Those flowers, that ombre, and the caviar just look so good together. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.